How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, no.
It's been spoily up in here today. Welcome to Night of the Living Podcast, debris of the miscellaneous kind. I would say feedback of miscellaneous debris. We don't have any.
That's fine.
Of the feedback variety.
I like short shows.
Yeah.
Well, I had a really nice email, but it was only sent to me, and I don't know if I'm allowed to read it on the air.
Ooh, is it a woman? That's why it was only sent to you?
It's sexting. Freddy's like, I got some sex I can read.
What's her name? What should it look like?
Oh, she's big old knuckles.
It's a fella, and it's a sincere email, and I read it.
Yeah, Dr. Brian sent me a really nice email, and I haven't composed a reply yet because I was so moved by what he had to say, but it was just really nice. I want to give you a shout out, Doc Brian.
You can show us after the show, right?
Thanks.
Yeah, I'll share it with you guys. I just don't know if it was okay for me to share it with the listeners or not. But if it is, Dr. Brian, I will...
Ooh, a doctor.
A doctor.
You say. Oh.
Can you take a look at this mole for me, Brian, please?
But he's just a rapper.
No, he's a doctor of medicine. He's the real deal.
You can be both.
I don't like when
true.
Kelley hasn't introed us yet, and you guys are bantering.
I know. I'm sorry.
Oh, right. You want to be introduced as quickly as
yes.
possible. All right. Well, with us this week is Amy.
I have OCD.
Freddy is here.
Mm-hmm. That was me that I derailed everything.
Yeah, that's all right.
He does that.
Andy is in his normal spot.
Thanks.
And we have a very
great
special
introduction for
guest with us today.
Now just a guest.
We have just
A very modest guest.
a guest, just a regular old
Humble.
just
Right.
Like
basic
when-
type of guest.
Like
Recent.
your sister, when your sister comes over or something
Yeah.
like that.
My sister's with us today.
Recent Walt Disney World annual pass holder.
Yeah! Listeners, do you want to guess? I'll give you a second.
No, it is not Barack Obama.
No, that's not right. It's Jacob Treviño.
Hey! I'm going to get real sincere with you, too. This is really the highlight of my year, is coming on this show.
Oh my God!
Well, because we don't get to hang out really outside of
We don't.
being in this room.
Yeah.
We like socialize on the fake world, the internet.
Yeah.
But we
interwebs.
very rarely like intersect. So
Yeah.
when we do get to sit down, I always have the best time.
It's
So
That
what
makes
we
me
do
happy.
too.
Thanks,
Your whole year, huh?
my whole year.
That's a sad little life you lead.
Just take the compliment, Andy.
We're not that great.
Self-esteem. We'll work on it later.
Speak for yourself.
But that's very nice of you to say, Jacob.
No, I'm excited. I'm excited to be here because every time I come on here, I always get to talk about something that I'm excited about. It's a very selfish thing. I'm like,
That's
hey,
awesome.
let me tell you
Oh,
about
no, it's good.
these cool things. That
I get it.
that we're doing.
So to refresh everyone's memory, Jacob, proprietor of The Overlook,
Yes.
one of the coolest things ever, which is the Shining theme bar here in Cincinnati.
Agreed. Love it.
It's famous. It's nationally famous.
Yeah.
And that's wasn't enough for him. So you went out and you made the video archive, the Tarantino bar,
That's correct.
and then that wasn't enough for you.
Nope.
No,
Then you went out and started Tokyo Kitty, which is the Japanese themed
You can do the
bar.
karaoke.
yeah, karaoke bar with robots, and
It's awesome.
we're constantly. That seems to be like our beta test bar for all our real wild ideas. So none of the bars ever seem really done. So we're just constantly adding and doing more things and improving upon what we do.
That's what makes them awesome.
It is what makes them awesome.
So have the robots gone crazy yet?
Not yet, but that actually became our theme. I love talking about Halloween in August.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh man, it's so close, but it's also so far away. But you get to really get into your planning stages.
Yeah.
And we have some awesome stuff happening. So for Tokyo Kitty, our theme is Robotic Nightmare.
Nice.
So
Shopping
it's-
mall type thing.
So it was really going to be this ex machina kind of rise of the robots, Terminator kind of thing. So when you you walk into the building, there's all this propaganda that's like, assimilate, the robots are your friends. And then you'll pass through our cool mirror room, and then when you get into the main room, it's all like the rebellion, like rise up, don't let them in your brain. Like,
are the robot servers gonna piss in everybody's eyeballs?
no, but that is one of my favorite robot uprising movies is Maximum Overdrive.
Oh hell yeah!
God,
Yeah, where I think it's Stephen King trying to get money out of the ATM. It's like, fuck you, asshole. Like,
that poor little league coach with those soda cans.
the soda cans.
Yeah.
And then there was apparently a scene in there that they took out where a kid gets Aunt Jemima'd by like a steamroller. Like, and so they had a dummy that they filled with blood, and when they hit it with the steamroller, all the blood ran into like the head part of the dummy, and then it popped off like a rocket. And the sensor like, no, absolutely not.
That might be very accurate. We don't know.
I need to
might
find that
exist
deleted
somewhere,
scene.
Yeah.
That sounds fantastic.
I want to see like a very gentle robot uprising where they just get passive aggressive at you.
Oh yeah.
Like
Well,
You don't think Siri's already doing that shit?
I just want the robot servers to bring you the wrong drink or laugh at your drink order or something.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, whiskey sour, how fun.
Just be kind of bitchy.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Oh, a Long Island iced tea, you dumb cunt.
if you're like a male orders like a bitch drink, they just laugh at you or something.
Yeah.
Oh, Freddie would be constantly yelled at.
Yeah, it would be.
And laughed at.
I love it.
Freddie, you love technology so much. I think you'd be like, cool, robots are my friend.
I'd love
You'd
a
stay
robot.
there.
A robot vacuumed my living room this morning.
And it got stuck in your kitchen,
It
too.
did get stuck once.
And I had to fix it.
Yeah, and she's
Stupid dumb
constantly
robot.
coughing up dog hair. So.
Jacqueline.
Yeah.
But no, you seriously are like addicted to making like all of your decisions via technology.
Yeah, I am. It's gonna. I'm like when Michael Scott drove the car into the lake. Essentially,
You're just going to listen to it no matter what.
Yep. Jacob's got something else exciting coming.
Yes.
Oh yeah. So we always get, the great thing about what I do is you get to meet people like you guys that are like, I'm passionate about film and about stuff. And then people will reach out to us to be in the same boat. They'll say, hey, you guys are really into this. I've got this cool thing. Do you want to help me do this cool thing? So out of the blue, this guy emails me and goes, hey, I do this cinema event. We're coming to your area. Would you be interested in sponsoring the event? And I was like, okay, what's the event? And he goes, well, we show movies where they're filmed. And I was like, oh. I was like,
Isn't that awesome?
Wow, you took it to the next level, because I just show a movie and we pair food and drink to it. Like, you're actually immersing them even more into the world. So he was doing one of, I think, a really cool franchise. Obviously, you guys think it's cool too. The Strangers. He's basically like on the Strangers tour, where he's showing the Strangers and the Strangers Pray at Night in all the locations where it was filmed. The guy's really cool. The website that you can go to is Myers House NC for North Carolina, because this guy loved Halloween so much that he rebuilt the house.
Oh shit.
Like
really?
himself. Yeah, he saw the house in California and was in North Carolina and goes,
He's like, but I don't like earthquakes.
yeah, pretty well. And also, they won't sell this house to me, so I'll just build the same exact house across the country. So he talks about how that's how his passion started. Was he started showing Halloween in his like front yard.
Nice.
Of the recreation of the Halloween house, and now he says he gets about 600 people there. So this Saturday, we're showing The Strangers Pray at Night down in Kincaid Lake State Park, which is in Falmouth, Kentucky, like a little south of Florence. It's basically 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Tickets are $10. You can buy them at myershouse.nc.com and see all the details there. But he's got some of the actors coming out too.
Oh, nice.
So, Damien.
Yeah.
We know Damien.
Who plays the
he's been
man
on
in
the
the
show
mask.
before.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
He's been here a
right?
few times. Yeah.
He's been in my home.
Yeah.
And Leah Enslin, who plays the pinup girl, which I think is one of the most like iconic horror designs out there. And if you haven't seen The Strangers, I think the last like 5 minutes of The Strangers is definitely one of the most
the new one or the
old one. Yeah,
the old one. Yeah, it's so scary.
Yeah, it's so scary. Just like that one line of dialogue that like ties it all in. We were talking about spoilers, but I won't spoil it.
Yeah, because fun fact, I've actually never seen The Strangers.
You've never seen The Strangers?
Stop everyone reacting
it's
that
on
way.
Netflix
I'm
now,
still a
so
good
it's
person.
easy to watch
Hey,
now.
guess what? You can't see every movie.
Have you seen Strangers Pray at Night yet? You haven't.
I want to say yes because you guys are in it.
No, it's all right. Your name is in the credits
I know.
too, even though you weren't there.
Or seen it.
Mine's
That's
in it, too.
amazing.
I know.
Isn't it? He got a credit. You're not there.
I did too.
Just like high school
It's
all
so
over
babies.
again.
Yeah.
Right.
We were supposed to be
It's like
there.
his yearbook. Yeah,
Yep.
it's the blank slate with your name under it.
No, I didn't get to be an extra.
Shame on you.
I had
But so
other
no, I
things
haven't
to
seen
do.
that one either.
Well,
It's
if
very
you've
good.
seen The Strangers Pray at Night, they're showing the film actually in the pool, so you can actually get in the pool.
Oh,
and
you can get in
watch-
the pool?
You can
I
get
didn't
in
know
the
that.
pool, and they're going to show the movie in the pool. Like
That is so cool.
I would love to do that. Unfortunately, we're going to be at Horror Hound, which is going to make it difficult.
Unfortunately,
But,
sadly,
Mike McGrainer, who cut the trailer together for the event, is going to do both.
yes,
He is hardcore.
That
insane.
trailer is so awesome. So
did a good
yeah,
job.
if you
Yeah.
go on the website, you can see this cool trailer that he pulled up for the event, and it's just amazing.
He made sure to put our diner scene in there, which I thought was pretty funny.
Well, they're eating at the diner the night before, so if you're coming down for the event,
We
you
need
can
to
go
go
to the
there.
diner.
yeah, you can sit in the booth that NOTLP sat in.
Tell us how the ice cream is, because we never got our ice cream.
I know. Hey, we've been complaining about that for over a year now. Because
What type of ice cream?
the guy who owns Fillmore's Dairy Hut, where they filmed that scene, was like, "I have a treat for everyone after shooting tonight. I'm giving everybody free soft serve." And then, like, we're 8 hours later, he's like, "Where'd
nah."
he go?" He's gone.
We're just gonna show up and like remember us.
We want our free soft serve. Oh, it was funny.
God, fame went to my head real fast.
It really did. Andy would have been dangerous around free soft serve.
I mean, was there craft services at all?
Well, no, not for that particular scene.
We ate fake food.
We
if
had
that
rubber
counts.
food. Yeah, they had craft. I went back and did a set
The best
visit.
rubber food you can buy, though.
It was the finest.
It's kind of chewy.
Went back for a set visit the night they filmed the big climax, and that night they had, like, it was Damien's birthday and everybody was gonna have a cake for him and stuff.
Did you
But-
get cake?
Well, I had to work the next morning. I was the lame guy that right before they were about to.
You didn't want to do too much cake before you went to
Right.
work the next
Yeah,
day.
exactly. And I remember doing the hanging out in the director's tent and everything was awesome. And thanks again to Johannes and the producers, John Wagner especially, for letting me do that. It was really neat to watch that. But then right before they're about to do this big gore effect, which I got to watch them set up in the effects trailer and everything, I'm like, I have to work in the morning. So the PR person on the movie, who was awesome too, Brooke Ensign, she was like, but we're going to do this amazing gore scene. I'm like, it's like almost 1 a.m. I think at this point. And I'm like, I have to drive back to Cincinnati because I have to be up at 6. I'm like, so good night, y'all. Enjoy the best part of the evening after I'm gone.
That's like every other party I've been to. Like, good night, guys. I know everyone's about to have the best time ever because I'm leaving. Bye.
It's like the Dave Attell joke about how all the little people circus and the prostitutes come through
Oh
after
yeah,
the
so
party.
the Spice Girls show up and give everyone blowjobs.
Yeah, pretty much. So but this event sounds so great. On
It does,
set
yeah.
cinema, right?
Yeah, Onset Cinema. The website is myershousendc.com, where you can get all the info.
And you spell it Myers like Michael Myers?
Yeah, like
Okay.
Michael Myers. Yeah.
Are you going to bring a floaty for the pool?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the most obnoxious one I can think
Ooh, the
of.
big
You know,
swan.
the swans are like there's a big piece of pizza now that it doesn't seem like it's
Say
actually
what?
like it's a floaty pizza and takes up half the pool, but you
Yeah.
can't really get on it right because of the tip
Yeah.
of the pizza. So it's like, do I put my head at the tip or do I put my?
I think
You always
have to
put it
your
at
head
the
on
tip.
the tip.
Put your
but-
always
Always
put
put it
it
at the tip.
directly on the tip.
Just,
Yeah, because
just,
otherwise your feet would hang.
Yeah.
just bring an air horn. That's what I would do. It's like, what's this got to do with pools? I don't know.
Be like bum
Little
bum
split
bum bum. Every time somebody dies a horrible death.
Yeah. It's funny. I could see Damien doing that, and I also could see him like getting into character again and drowning somebody inadvertently. In the pool.
What?
He gets extreme. He's a scary guy.
No, he's not.
Oh, he's scary.
Okay, I don't want to ruin his rep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that,
Very cool.
coming back for October at Video Archive, we're going to do our Yuletide Nightmare again, which is our reskin of the bar that we do to Nightmare Before Christmas theme. We did it last year from like the week before October through Christmas. And turns out people in Cincinnati don't want to do Halloween things at Christmas. No, just a lot of confused faces when you walk in. So we
It's
kind
a
of
Christmas movie and a Halloween movie. Just
that's what I
Yeah,
said.
it works on both levels.
Yeah. So this year we're kind of good, just doing way more interactive stuff with the Halloween season. October 3rd, which is like the third day it's open, we're showing the scariest movie of all time, which is Mean Girls, because it's Mean Girls Day. But we're having the Mean Girls Halloween party, so everyone can dress as a mouse or as a dead bride, ex-wife, as an ex-wife. Hey, yeah. So sorry, I forgot about that line.
Yeah, no. Well, I'll be excited to see a lot of the ex-wife costumes and cosplays.
I want to. I'd rather see the slutty, the slutty mice.
The slutty mouse. Yeah.
But that's Andy's thing, apparently, right?
Yeah, the slutty mouse. I'm a mouse. Duh.
And then we're gonna have there's a great hot dog place in Cincinnati, and they're hooking us up with they make a hot dog that they call the Lindsay Lohan.
The Senate, right?
Yeah, the Senate. So we've teamed up with them to give everyone hot dogs.
It doesn't have red hair in it or anything.
No, I don't think so.
But it does
Red
have
onions?
cocaine in it.
There's a cigarette put out in it.
Is it like really burned?
Does it have a weird accent?
It shows up late.
It's got big titties, though.
We're not nice.
It claims
nice
it wants to play the
people.
live action Little Mermaid.
The actual Mean Girls are here.
Yeah.
It's gonna hijack a car and get in an accident.
She's got a reality show coming
That's right.
out.
I forgot about that.
She's got a reality show coming out on MTV, so she's doing fine.
I'm going to be glued to that. What?
Okay,
Are you
so
waiting for like a punchline there? That sounds awesome.
does it?
I don't
hear
know.
She's a high-priced escort.
I've
That's the
heard that
rumors.
rumor too.
Yeah,
I like Lindsay.
Yeah.
I want the
What
best
is a
for her.
high price?
I don't know.
Yeah, what do you consider high priced? I mean,
I don't know, man. Like if I had to think about it, like
Well, if she can charge
Okay,
$50 for an autograph.
Okay,
Yeah.
what's the bottom basement price for you?
for Lindsay Lohan,
No, for
or
you.
just sex in
Oh.
general.
For you to be a
for you to be a
I don't pay for strange.
Yeah.
Like, hypothetically, you're a whore. What's the bottom price?
Oh, for if I was a
worker,
whore, oh man, I don't know.
Does it depend
I
on
think
the-
it's a sliding scale.
Does it
Yeah.
depend on the act?
Oh yes,
For
oh,
sure.
very sure.
And
Okay,
the
what's
person.
around the world? How much is that?
What is around the world?
For a
That's
ZJ
everything.
too.
ZJ?
Yeah, if you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Is around the world? Oh, I don't want to know.
If you have the means, I highly
You know, I
recommend
think I think I'm pretty cheap. Like, you know, if we're using protection, I'd say probably like $1,000. I think you know.
Yeah.
You
But
know what?
again,
Good.
I'm putting myself in a scenario where this is my job. Like
Yeah,
I
right.
have to do this.
You got bills to
to
pay.
survive. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
not a one-off. This
Yeah.
is I wake up every day and I punch the clock.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
it's got to be at least $1,000. I
That'd be
mean,
like
you've got expenses, you got
5,000 a
overhead.
week if
You know,
Yeah,
You
exactly.
do 5-day work week. If you only do it once a day.
I feel like I'll be a snobby hooker, like those store workers in Pretty Woman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, how much is your services? It's like, it's very expensive.
Yeah.
And then they come in later, I have money. And like, big mistake, huge.
You have sex for money? You've made a huge mistake.
With giant bags of dildos. Big mistake, huge.
So yeah,
We have this conversation an awful lot. Like
Oh,
on
I
road
like-
trips, Andy always has this thing like, how much?
Oh,
would
I
it
love that game.
cost? Yeah.
now I'll tell you what.
You
On the
do.
flip side, I can't imagine paying more than $500 for sex
with Lindsay Lohan.
with anyone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyone, really?
With anyone, I can jerk off for free.
Mm.
$500 is
Oprah?
generous, actually.
I can't imagine anybody being worth $500 for sex.
I can't either.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll go that far because that's just the world we live in.
This
I'll
is the
give it up
economy.
to $500, but like,
Yeah.
Thanks, Obama.
I mean, you can get an Xbox One X for $500.
There's no
And
way.
that will provide you with hours of
that'd be like a year worth of play before it's outdated.
There's no
500
way.
isn't even enough for an annual pass at Disney World.
There's
It
no
is
way.
not.
There's no way that Oprah fucks at a $500 level.
No, you're right.
There's just no fucking way. I don't believe it.
$5,000.
As sex workers are people too. They have a job.
That's true.
But as a person that has never paid for sex, I don't know that I could do it. I don't know that I could like step into that mindset.
Yeah, I don't either.
This has become a financial transaction.
Yeah.
If you're not into it, it's just like.
Well, because it would become like everything else in my life. Like it would just be like, okay, what's the rate of return that I'm getting?
No, it takes the emotion out of it and just makes it a complete and total like bargain hunt.
If that's your thing, that's fine.
I don't think it would be a bargain hunt. It would be the maximization of time. I'd be like, here's a checklist.
You want your
We have
greatest
an hour,
ROI.
like
Yeah.
at the 15-minute mark, please do this.
I'm gonna get my money's worth.
You got to maximize.
I'm
Exactly.
gonna require at least 6 knuckles at some point during this transaction.
So good.
Yeah, I'm glad I came on the show.
Yeah.
How do we end up
we've
here?
all figured
I don't.
this
it's
out.
I can
somehow-
never
Lindsay Lohan.
run for mayor now. Or can I?
You
Yeah, you
probably
can.
could. Yeah,
You can. Don't worry about it. It was Lindsay Lohan. It was me.
Yeah, you
because
brought-
I know she's a
you
she's
horse
an
shamed her.
escort. Huh? No, I'm just saying that's what she does, and good for her.
Good for her. She's,
Rumored to do.
Eh.
Allegedly.
and she's a
Right.
high-priced one too, so good for her.
So good for her. Good for her. Anything else?
We have had. Have you guys ever seen the movie Cinerama?
Mm-mm.
Have you guys ever seen Wrong Turn?
Yes.
Have you seen its better sequel, Wrong Turn 2?
No.
I don't think I have.
So the director of that is a really nice guy by the name of Joe Lynch.
Yeah.
And he is filming a movie here in town, and
that's
he
right.
has just been really just hanging out at Video Archive every
Really?
day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he's been like curating movies that he wants us to play like on the projector. Just The Last Dragon, which I don't know if you've
I
ever seen.
love
that.
The Last Dragon.
Yeah, so he like
Show
brought it
enough.
in. Yeah, and he was like, "Will you play this?" I was like, "Of course I'll play this." But he's filming a movie for Netflix here in town, and Anthony Mackie, who plays Falcon, is
Frank
in
Grillo's
it.
in it.
Yes,
Yeah, Frank
Yes.
Grillo. Yeah,
Frank
Frank
Grillo's
Grillo's
in
in
it.
And we
it.
were talking about that the other
Yeah,
day. I was like,
I didn't know
Grills.
Joe Lynch was doing that.
and
That's
I
cool.
Said, no, I told you Joe Lynch was doing it.
You did, and then it went in one ear and
I
out
was
the
like,
other.
bitch, Frank Grillo's in town.
Yeah, it's cool
Yeah.
that Falcon's in town, but Frank Grillo's in town.
we love Frank Grillo.
him.
I guess the only reason I say Anthony Mackie is because he is everywhere, and he is the nicest person.
Is
that
he
you
like
will ever
hanging
meet.
out or a
He
lot?
is hanging out at every bar I go to, and he is like,
Really?
I'm just saying, I don't know if he thinks like I got 15 minutes, I'm gonna live it up, but he like holds court,
Yeah.
like at every
Good for
bar that
him.
he's at.
Anthony
And just-
Mackie is going to have more than 15 minutes.
Can we take Anthony Mackie to Bobby Mackie's?
Oh, that'd be
and get him on the
amazing.
ghost tour?
Yeah, and make him ride the mechanical bull.
I'm sure he might.
Yeah.
Again, every time I've seen him, he has been so fan friendly with everybody.
Oh, that's really cool.
But I first saw him. I was trying to remember like the movie that I first saw him in because it wasn't Avengers. It was that Matt Damon movie. Was it The Corrections Office or something like that? There was like a elongated Twilight Zone episode where he like opens
The
a door.
Adjustment Bureau?
The Adjustment Bureau.
Yeah.
So he's in that as one of the adjusters.
Yeah.
And I remember being so enthralled with that movie when it came out because I was like, it's just like a very long Twilight Zone episode. It's basically Twilight Zone, the movie, part 2.
I love Twilight Zone.
I have some Twilight Zone news to share today when we get to it.
Bitch, what?
Yeah.
Bitch, yes.
Jordan Peele.
What's your favorite?
it! Don't spoil the news!
No, what?
Yeah.
All right, no,
yeah.
later.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. But before we get to that, what's your favorite Twilight Zone episode?
I really like the doll.
No.
The doll is really good.
And I really like, I just love the ending of Eye of the Beholder. Just the makeup.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's
The pig-
iconic. Like, that's the iconic one.
Yeah. It's a good one. I think.
What's your favorite episode?
Yeah, they love Twilight Zone. They get so worked up over it. Like Millie loves Nightmare at 20,000 Feet, and also likes Last Stop at Willoughby because she's sentimental.
Oh, that is a sentimental one.
I'm a big fan of The Monsters Are on Maple Street. Is a really good one where the paranoia episode with the power outage and all that.
The monsters were us.
Yeah, it turns out. And the other one, was it called Night Call, where the older lady is getting the telephone call over and over again? And you remember this one? Like in the middle of the night, she gets the call, and she has a live-in nurse, and the nurse is like, thinks she's just kind of maybe losing it, and then she tries to trace the number, and she realizes that the line is down on her husband's grave at the cemetery, and he was calling her.
Yeah, like you do.
Yeah, because that's how phones work.
They did like a Tales from the Dark Side episode like that too.
I like though that they had to connect the line. Like he couldn't just do it ghost like they actually had to sink the line into his coffin for it to work.
Cherry Hill 367.
My favorite is the opening to the Tower of Terror.
Your favorite episode is not an episode. It's just the people being struck by lightning.
Like what I really love about that ride is all of the props that they put in the library from the various episodes.
Yeah, and in the little area when you get off the ride, and you get to see even more if you are a screw up like Andy. And sit on your seatbelt so that you levitate during the ride.
Wait, what?
Did you know about this?
Do not, no.
Don't do it, but
who's got a motorcycle in here?
It's me. I'm too badass not to bring it into the studio. I'm like Arthur Fonzarelli.
We'll tell you after the show how I got us an extra ride.
Yeah. Are you afraid you don't want to spread that on the air?
Almost banned from the park.
No, I almost got me banned from the park. You would have been innocent.
I have my hand over Elsa's mouth. It's like a trumpet mute. It's like I'm playing jazz music with a dog instead of a trombone.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna pause the show real quick.
Okay. Pitch shifted.
All right, we're back.
So they put the dogs down.
Yeah, we put the dogs down.
So are we really not allowed to tell the story about what happened to Andy on Tower of Terror?
Andy, what are you worried someone's going to do it?
Don't do this.
People know about it.
You put your seatbelt on, but you stretch it all the way out.
No, oh man, come on! You're going to ruin the ride for everyone.
And then you sit on it.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
if you're
don't
listening,
do it.
Don't do it.
No, because it's very dangerous.
We'll tell you what happens when they catch you after he explains what happens.
It's dangerous, but it's also fun because you're like 3 feet off the ground.
Oh Lord!
So the ride hard stops. Like we hit.
Well,
hard.
first I look over and Andy's in midair, which is freaking weird, right? Because he's like, I'm down here and Andy is up at my eye. His butt's at my eye level, and I'm like, and then
the ride stops really hard. We hit hard.
It smashes my nuts completely. It is awful.
We sat there for a while.
And it's hot.
And it's hot and it's dark and nobody knows what's going on. And a little girl's crying. And then they bring us into like a service area, like the ride vehicle. And
Yeah, because they think it's broken.
Yeah.
Well, they
know. So then a guy comes over to Annie. He's like, "Listen, you do that again, we're gonna have a problem. That is extremely dangerous. We saw what you did."
He didn't lecture me after. He just said
if you do that again, we'll have a problem.
He didn't say the dangerous part.
I don't remember a child crying. I think the story gets more dramatic every time.
There was a little girl there, and she was like, "I didn't know what's going on."
In the basement of Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, Andy's photo is there. Just
do not accept a check from this man.
Yes.
But what fucking happens is Andy gets yelled at. I'm freaking out.
It was hilarious.
They turn us around and get us back on the ride.
We got to ride it twice in a row because of Andy being a fuck up.
Yeah, so I'm
guilty.
In my defense, I did not. I learned this trick from Amy.
It was Amy rode Expedition Everest with a single rider, and this kid wouldn't shut the fuck up because he was a weirdo. He's like, "You know what I do on Tower of Terror is," and he told me that trick. So I'm being an idiot, say something to the guys, and Andy's like, "I'm gonna do that," and he did it.
Yeah, don't do that.
Andy learns all his best tricks from 10-year-olds.
We have one Twilight Zone ride in this world. If somebody dies on that thing, they will take it away from us in a second. They'll make it something stupid.
But we saw
break my heart.
We saw everything lit up and saw the little machinations of all the ride. It was kind of cool.
Got to see the
did anybody say Nick of Time? The Ohio episode of Twilight Zone? It's the William Shatner, and they go in the diner, and like they get their fortunes read by the little devil thing.
I love that, and I actually tried to find. I was like, I love the little fortune telling machine. It was was it the Mystic? Something.
It's there's like a devil on top.
Yeah,
of it.
it's got like the little bobblehead devil, and then it spits out a card. Right? They put a penny in, they get a card, and they realize that it's real. Whatever it's telling them is real.
Well, it's telling them like, don't leave the diner, like all kinds of stuff, and then they leave. Of course, they leave the diner and almost get hit by a car. Or something like that.
That is such a good one. I tried to find that prop like that you could just buy, and I found it online. I want to say it was $1,500.
Jesus.
Yeah, to have a replica. It was a working replica.
But it only works until all the pieces of paper are gone. I guess. I don't know if you just like shove them back in there, which could be an awesome parlor trick. It could be like, give him $50, like, or you will die. Like,
oh my God. You need to start a Twilight Zone bar.
I've always wanted to do them as plays. I always saw them as they were perfect for doing like a theater production. Of like some of the best episodes, because a lot of them are just bottle episodes. You know, they take place in one location. You know, there's not a lot of special effects. It's just a lot of psychological kind of mentality to it. So that we've talked to people before about like, man, we should do a Twilight Zone thing at one of the bars. And it's just one of those things. So if you're listening and you're like, I want to do that, hit me up, because that's a project we've been trying to get off the ground since like day one of Overlook. The closest thing that we're getting is in October. We are showing the 1980s Twilight Zone movie, which I think has it's one of the better anthologies. I think just for the Dan Aykroyd opening moment.
Opening and closing.
Yeah, and I love John Lithgow's Nightmare at 20,000 Feet. Yeah. I think that was a really hella good upgrade. I just said hella good.
I think their monster one is just far inferior to the original episode. You mean the gremlin on the wing of the plane? The actual effect? No, not the second segment of the movie, which is like he wishes them to Cartoon World or something like that.
The little boy.
Instead of the cornfield.
That scared the hell out of me.
The cornfield one I thought that was pretty
When I was a kid, it did scare me
when he takes away the girl's mouth.
Yeah, you see that
and the big rabbit.
Oh gosh, that's scary.
The only one I didn't like was the one where the guy goes to Nazi Germany.
Well, that's the one people were killed making.
Yeah, well, good. I'm glad I don't like that one.
Yeah, that was
you did good, segment. Kid.
Yeah,
and then they have the Steven Spielberg one, which is the heart,
the old people
drug.
Kick the can.
Time to kick the can.
God, I haven't seen that movie in a million years.
Well, you can come to Video Archive and
I will do that.
Should.
On the big screen.
I love it.
The big screen
under the stars.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell to the yes.
Hella good.
Hella good.
Freddy.
I don't know where that came from.
You're 40.
I am.
We need to write you a list of things you're allowed to say and things you're not.
You're mean.
Yeah, you say
I know.
You say what you want, Freddie.
You know who's older than me, though? John Kelley. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Kelley's Crypt.
Will we see him at Horror Hound Weekend next
Absolutely.
weekend?
You know it. You know it.
This Horror Hound Weekend, though, seems real like the tops. Like just the lineup that they have this year. I'm sad that I can't be there. Yeah, you know,
you can't make any of the days. That's a bummer.
No, like my schedule is just real. Basically, I'm working from now until like the first week of September. So I'm getting married after like a 6-year engagement.
Congrats, by the way.
Yeah,
we kept asking each other.
Only 6 years.
You guys are not traditionalists.
We kept saying, "Are Jacob and Katie married yet?" We said it a few times.
So my fiance's been very patient. So we've been over the past 3 years opening these crazy, insane bars. So we've just been kind of hitting it. So I said this last part of the year that I was really just going to take off and do the things that I wanted to do and kind of take some me time. So I'm in like the last final stretch of like making sure that the rest of the year is lined up with all the fun events that we're doing. Basically, we're working on graphics, on promotion for, everything that we're going to do till the end of the year. I'm basically like the senior that's like cramming in like their final exams. I'm going to get this done. I swear to God. So hopefully, towards September, October, November, I'm going to kind of do some wandering around the country and kind of get some new ideas. I'm going to Universal Halloween Horror Nights, which I think is the premier.
I gotta go.
horror extravaganza.
You guys have never been?
We've never been.
You're down there all the time.
Yeah, but I don't go to Universal. It's not in the Disney bubble.
And it wasn't just, it's also like, we've already invested all our money.
Yeah, once you pay for that annual pass, you're like, fuck, you want how much Universal?
Oh, yeah. Shit. No, they're getting like 1 day from me, and then I'm going back to the bubble. Yeah, exactly.
I stay in the bubble.
We keep talking about sending an expedition of contributors to Universal for Horror Nights to actually cover it for the show.
Well, I'd love to be your on-site.
You want to do it with us?
Yeah. Like,
maybe this year you could be our on-site guy and come back and give us all the.
You guys have like I'll do some like video, and then you guys can link it. I'll be your on-site video,
I love
and
it.
you can link it to your Instagram, or you can let me run your Instagram from down there.
I'll give you the lock-in. Absolutely, I think that's great.
I think that would be so much fun. I'd love to do that.
Yeah. Disney.
Famous last words.
Soon they'll own everything. Don't worry about it.
okay
They
with
are
that.
the robotic nightmare uprising.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like any other corporation, I'd be like, I don't like the sound of this, but Disney, I'm like, perfect. Yes, please, more.
What if Disney buys
Would you like to
Halliburton?
own me?
Because they have assimilated you from a young age.
Yeah,
Like
and
it's
it's
really
fine.
it's the indoctrination of it all.
Yeah.
No, it's because I understand it's a business decision not to own everything, but to prevent themselves from being owned. And I understand that. And I like that. Plus, whatever Mickey wants, he can have. You know what, Mickey? I wouldn't be $500 for you, big boy.
So we kind of live in not the same realm, but like the down the street adjacent realm from Disney, and that we try to do these very unique experiences, but we try to aim them towards adults. That the world is a very harsh, terrible place sometimes, so you need escape.
Yes.
So that when we build the bars, when we develop the bar concept, we definitely think about how are we providing escape and how are we providing something like that. So over the past few months, I've really actually been obsessed with all the places that like Disney has made mistakes. Like the things that they're like, we dumped $50 million into a ride that didn't work. So I love seeing that even a business is that big and like that, just all consuming. They're like, hey, they're a business that makes mistakes too.
Fuck up.
Sounds Dangerous with Drew Carey. Top of my list of Disney mistakes. Have you ever done that?
No, my Disney mistake still exists there. I hate it so much, but it's Journey into Imagination with Figment.
Is it because
so
you like
bad.
the original one more? Or?
I was too young to really remember it. I just know that as an adult, I'm like, I hate this. I hate this so much.
Figment is great. The ride is not good.
I love the character. The ride is not the best.
No.
Yeah.
It's cheap.
It is very cheap,
Yeah.
like in comparison to what is going on there, and especially for us. The last time I went down there, we did this really cool thing called. It's not at Disney; it's at like Disney Springs. Have you guys ever heard of the Void or talked about the Void?
It's a virtual reality thing, right?
Yeah.
Did you do the Star Wars experience?
Yeah, so we did the Star Wars experience, but apparently they have a Ghostbusters experience and they have an Alien experience. Aliens. I mean, it's kind of one of the most immersive things you can do. We were kind of looking at ways to develop that technology into a bar.
Yeah.
And have been kind of like really hitting our head against the wall. Like we've talked with like 2 different companies about how do you bring augmented reality and virtual reality into the bar setting, which kind of seems to be like my next goal. The reason I talk about it is because I'm like, if someone else does it, I'll like, great, because then it takes the burden off of me. Like I'm always like freewheeling with my ideas in the hopes that somebody will listen and be like, that is a good idea. I should go do that. And I'll be like, yes, I can just go enjoy it as a consumer. I don't have to be in charge of the equipment breaking down.
It'd be kind of fun to do like a bar haunt, like a.
So I think so.
It'd
I
be
think
perfect for the Overlook.
Yeah. So
to recreate the Overlook virtually in your headset.
we thought that would be really cool, is to basically have like the Shining experience, like at the Overlook, that you recreate that. But the Void basically is this. It's full virtual reality, and you step into the Star Wars world, and you cross over these lava pits and you can feel the heat on you. And
shit.
And you there's a point where you go to an armory and you actually grab the blaster. Like, so it's very tactile, which is very interesting because you're in this virtual world. It's the closest that I have ever been to the future. I'm like, we did it, guys.
That is so cool. I went to do that. What were you guys doing? And you had to have a group. I was like the loser that was like, I'm not going to go to this alone.
It works better with a group, but I made Katie go through it with me. And Katie, I love her to death, but she is not the most adventurous person. And so she straps on this headgear and we get into the scene and you have to pick up a blaster. And so like I go and like grab a blaster and because I'm a gentleman, I grab her a blaster and she's like, nah, I'm good.
I don't want to kill any Jawas by mistake.
She's like, I was like, well, what are you gonna do? She's like, and the thing is, you're dressed as I'm gonna try not to give too much away, but you're dressed as stormtroopers. So when you look at the other person, you can see them dressed as a stormtrooper. So as we're going through these scenes, I'm blasting away, and then every time I turn, there's just this stormtrooper arms crossed, standing in the corner of whatever scene we're doing. Because it'll like push you, it pushes you through, regardless of what you do. You know, there's like no dying. That's so funny. But just I was like, she showed up to work real disgruntled that day.
That's adorable.
Got a little cigarette out of her mouth, just smoking.
So I loved it so much that I went through it again by myself, and they just paired me up with some people. So, and it was a great
That's so cool.
Yeah.
We have to do it. If it's not, it might. I don't know if it'll still be there.
Oh, like Disney bought part of the company. Like they loved it so much. I think
That's
they're like
so cool.
a majority share, and they're going to kind of spread these things.
Because those guys started out doing like Comic-Cons and stuff, didn't they?
Yeah, like they've got a really interesting story. Just from the fact that they created this VR stuff, but to get all that licensing had to be the most insane thing about it. And now that you've got like Disney on board with it, because me being the person that I am, you put on this visor and they send you into this magical world where you're just kind of wandering kind of freely, which feels weird, but if you lift up your visor, you just realize you're in just a big ass empty room.
Right. Wait till they come out with Grand Theft Auto for that.
I would love to do the Alien one.
God.
That sounds awesome.
No, thank
You can beat up Hooker in real time.
Steal a helicopter.
Sex worker.
You can feel the blood spurt on your face.
Amy's like, you'll beat up a sex worker.
She's a person too.
We're all people just trying to get by. Reminder, horrorhoundweekend.com and then patreon.com/NOTLP. If you'd like to support this show,
Do it.
you dumb bitches. Why would I be so mean
that's a real hard sell on the Patreon.
Amy. That's Amy's honey v vinegar.
Why?
He says Mean Girls one time,
and Heather,
you just get in the role.
My neighbor Heather, who I just need to literally walk the shirt across the street, who became a patron.
He has not done that.
Just ball it up and toss it.
I need a T-shirt cannon. We need more money for a T-shirt cannon. I wanted to do that at Horror Hound Weekend, but we were talking about like the close quarters and like
somebody would die.
Would we kill somebody? Is
Yeah,
it like
Maud
Flanders somebody?
Yeah. Don't do that.
I just want it so bad.
We're not gonna aim it at people. We'll shoot it.
Andy, it doesn't matter.
We'll shoot it
Ricochet.
in the air.
A Ricochet T-shirt.
A Ricochet T-shirt. Does it make the same sound?
I don't believe it.
Is
Like when you shoot a gun up in the air, people die from the falling bullets. Right? Is that
How high
legend?
do you think this T-shirt goes?
I don't know. I don't know about
yes, it was. I grew up in Texas, and it was like a big thing.
I thought like it was a constant problem
on holidays with fireworks. It was because people would be like, "Let's fire off some fireworks and guns in the air," and like
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, and it was like tragic. Like some people died. Like so they had to like put out public service announcements like, "Do not fire your guns into the air on 4th of July," which is the best day to do it.
Everybody's sadly taking off their Yosemite Sam outfits. Like, damn it!
I was like, and my response was, "How am I supposed to show the king who's boss if I can't fire my gun in the air?"
So, like, was buckshot okay, or is it any gun?
I'm sure. Just
no. projectiles in
Okay,
the
but-
air.
Rock salt.
No,
How high do you think this T-shirt's gonna go?
I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's not a.
It's a bad idea.
It's not an open air convention.
You're turning into one of those moms.
I know.
Oh my
You'll
god.
put your eye out.
I bought a.
Yeah,
I bought
put your
a pair.
seatbelt on the ride. Don't fire our T-shirt guns in the air.
I bought a pair of Tevas. Okay, and I put them on yesterday, and I realized I look like a mom on her way to Whole Foods. Like
Yeah.
I'm just like I'm gonna go get guys. I'm going to get snacks for the week.
At the same
That's
time,
pretty
Amy, do you realize how cruel you're being to mothers and just how presumptuous?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They do look comfortable.
You don't care about that.
Can we go back to the T-shirt cannon for
Wait,
just a
what
minute?
am I? What is? Am I bad?
I'm just fucking with
I know I'm
He
bad.
says you're mom shaming.
I want
know.
to.
I said your mom shaming because you shamed Annie for sex worker shaming.
Here's what
Yeah.
we do, guys. If the Patreon will raise enough money to get me a T-shirt cannon,
No.
I will work with the people at Walt Disney World.
We're gonna
to take
shoot
it on the Tower of Terror.
Shoot it off.
When the doors open, we will fire out as many NOTLP T-shirts as we can.
Just shooting them out in Hollywood studios.
Yeah, just
People are
raining
walking
down.
around with their churros. Like, what the fuck?
Because there's at one point when you hit the very top, you can see out into it's open air basically.
Yeah.
So
we should wet them first, like soak them so they go further.
That's a wet T-shirt cannon.
again, Katie is the not adventurous type, so I end up going on a lot of these rides alone, or as I like to call it, ruining family photos 101.
For you.
So I have this series of photos that you can see on my Instagram, Jake should Instagram, where it is just me like photo bombing as much of the frame as possible in like every ride. So it's like Tower of Terror, like just across 5 families, arms stretched. Like
You found some way to lay down and do like a senior picture pose
Pretty
across
much.
people's laps.
Oh, all those Make-A-Wish kids, you ruined their pictures.
Oh no, I know. Like, I know somebody's like, "Oh man, Timmy's first ride at Walt Disney World. We're gonna remember this forever. We're gonna get this photo, put it
Yeah.
up on the mantle."
It was his first and last ride.
Yeah, I think that's how you make evil villains in the world too. Like,
It's like all we had to remember him is this man's hand in his face.
That was the only picture they ever had of him.
That's the picture they put in front of the coffin. It's
the only one.
All right.
Oh God,
Well, I'm going to move us along to news if that's okay.
that's fine with me. Sure, why not?
Well, I'm glad I got you.
You got my approval.
I mean,
your
I'm
approval.
pumped for the news because we got that tease.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just you wait.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back.
Just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I think something is happening.
The people it kills get up and kill.
Been partially devoured.
Remember, human beings are their food.
Kelly,
Hey,
give us the news.
y'all
brah.
ready for this?
Yeah.
So I headlined this one. The only Stephen King news I'm not excited to hear.
Uh-oh.
James Wan,
Uh-oh.
Roy Lee, John Berg, some other names
What did he win?
well.
James.
Oh, Andy,
I see what you
nice
did
punnery there, sir.
My goodness.
Oy vey.
They're making the Tommyknockers, which is like my absolute least favorite Stephen King novel.
But maybe they'll make it into something you'll enjoy.
they might.
Come on, it was Marg Helgenberger, Tracy Lords.
Yeah,
I remember seeing it as a kid
Yeah.
and really enjoying it.
I
the
liked it.
miniseries.
Well, I
Yeah.
never watched it because I read the book and I hated it.
I didn't read
Yeah.
the book.
Even the part with Pennywise,
all the parts.
all the parts.
Pennywise was in it.
Yeah,
It's just a
just briefly a little cameo.
It's just so.
That was like Stan Lee.
Yeah, like Stanley, where he was
What's
driving a bus.
What's together? You know, in the mid '90s, they were making all of the made-for-TV Stephen King movies.
Langoliers.
Langoliers,
With
which was one that
Balky Bartokomous,
Yeah.
Bronson Pinchot for those who
And
care about real names.
Richard Dean Anderson.
Yeah,
MacGyver.
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 MacGyver and Balky Bartokomous do Stephen King.
So you're
We seem to be in a Stephen King
We are,
renaissance.
we are.
and which is great for my bar, The Overlook. 'Cause
Yeah.
I like to think we were ahead of the curve. Like it's
agree.
now just catching up to us.
do you guys
That
do
we-
Castle Rock viewings? There at
So
all?
we were trying to get in a writer from Castle Rock to come do like a Q&A and just like really couldn't figure it out. So we have been screening the episodes
Nice.
I love
at
it.
the Overlook, and I love it so much.
It's
like
good.
it is it's what I want American Horror Story to be.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
I
that's
think,
a good way to put that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it keeps it up. Is it going to be an anthology? Is that?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
So the next season's a different story?
Yeah, it just all kind of takes place in that same Stephen King universe. And I mean, as a fan, you know, if you're not watching it, you should watch it. But I have a theory, and I'm like super excited about this theory that I think I've figured it out already. Like the man in the cage, who he is. That he's gonna have to tell. That he's gonna say his name. Should I say?
Or do you want to say it on? I mean, it's a fan theory. It's not a spoiler.
because they talk about like in the first 3 episodes that they catch the devil. Yeah, and like the guy never says his name.
Oh, you think it's RF?
It's RF.
Yep, that's gonna be RF, and like everyone's gonna be like,
oh shit.
I haven't even thought about that.
Yeah, that would be great.
That's pretty awesome. I am enjoying the Stephen King renaissance right now because a lot of people are trying to do quality versions, you know, and you know, some are better than others, but you know, overall, I think they're doing a great job.
Well, and I'm not sure we talked about this one time when I was on when we talked about how do we get around, you know, copywriting stuff, you know, because we walk a very hard line on that as a company. But Stephen King is actually one of the better ones to work with because if you want to make a film from him or you want to do something of his copyright license is $1.
Yeah,
the dollar babies.
Yeah. That if you're a student filmmaker and want to make your own version of the Tommy Knockers, that Kelley doesn't hate.
Yeah, I want them to make me like it. I just, you know,
you can thank. Isn't that how Darabont's career started? Was as working on?
Yeah, he did The Woman in the Room.
Yeah, which is very sad.
Yeah.
So Kelley, what is your problem with the Tommy Knockers?
Oh, it's just so fucking long and boring, and it's like this
really long.
He was working through, I think, at the time his addiction problems. So there are just these huge long passages about this main character who's a writer, like how he acted like an asshole at parties, and it's just like so much. It takes away from the central story. I like the central story idea, but all the fucking bloated shit around it just turned me off.
Kelley hit his mic. He was so upset.
I was so upset.
So, do you remember that
Sorry,
joke?
Mike.
I think it was on SNL back when this miniseries first came out, and they said it was the 5th movie that Tracy Lords appeared in with Knockers in the title.
I don't, but that's great.
It's a good one.
I'm glad you could bring it back to us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So,
it might have been David Spade. I don't even know.
Knockers. Such an old-timey term.
Yeah.
So they got somebody to adapt it. His last name is Slater. I don't want to really read through the
AC?
Oh my god.
Yeah. AC Slater.
Wow. He called everyone preppy and then they had to fire him. They're like, that's anti-preppist.
So James Wan.
Yeah.
Mama.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Knockers.
Yes.
All right.
I mean, I'll watch it.
I'll watch it. Maybe. And you're right. Sometimes things are better. And when I didn't like the book, I didn't like the Meg, the book.
Jaws?
Wait, the Meg was a book?
Yeah.
It's a series.
It's a whole series of books.
Yeah.
By Sapphire.
You know, when I saw the trailer for the Meg, it seemed like that joke when Peter Griffin was pitching Jaws, like bigger Jaws. Like,
exactly.
Like, oh no, what is that? It's bigger Jaws. Oh, we should team up to kill the bigger Jaws.
That's basically right.
That is Meg.
Yeah. That's exactly right. That's the best review of that movie one could get. All right,
it's so fun though.
It was fun. I did have fun with it.
It's a good time.
I said it was one of those movies I liked it. I'll probably never watch it again, or maybe one more time, because I am a repeat viewer of movies that I really like. I might watch it one more time, but it was definitely worth, paying for.
To me, it was very reminiscent. It might be this generation's Snakes on a Plane.
Yeah.
Because I was so obsessed with that movie when it was coming out. Just the marketing. I remember us going to the theater and buying like fake snakes and bringing them into the theater. We were so pumped about this movie.
And you shot them out of a t-shirt cannon?
Yes. No, and literally we were just probably the most obnoxious people in that theater because we were throwing the snakes like every time there was a snake.
That's fun.
That is fun. I was super excited. I'm like you. I was crazy excited about the Meg, and
it wasn't what I wanted it to be necessarily, but it was fun.
Yeah,
like it kept my enjoyment there. But I feel like we similar.
It's no Jaws 3.
Well, no, I did say that. I liked it way better than Jaws 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you can at least have that. All right, here, you guys ready for the news you're really waiting for?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jordan Peele.
Oh, yes, so
doing his
husband
version.
to my fave,
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea Peretti.
Thank you. Yes, he is.
Chelsea Peretti's husband, is that all he is to you now?
That's the number one
basically.
thing he's known for is marrying superstar
One of the
international Chelsea Peretti. Anyway, he is doing the Twilight Zone.
Yes!
Series?
Have we heard yet if he's going to do the host segment?
Let's see. Maybe it says in this article that I haven't read
I didn't
yet.
even think about that. Like whatever platform this is on, it is going to take my money. Like
it's going to be CBS All Access.
It'll be the
fuck.
Are you like, I suppose, but they have Star Trek on there?
I haven't watched it yet.
No.
I'll just borrow somebody's password.
All right, one of us has to pay for it. We'll all kick in a couple bucks.
I mean, that guy seems to just touch things and turn to gold. I hear he's working on another movie.
Yeah.
He was
doing
the
another
producer
horror film.
on Black Klansman that just came out.
Yep.
Like,
he's the one who brought that story to Spike Lee.
really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Black Klansman yet, I highly recommend it.
Oh, you did catch it that
Yeah,
night,
it's
huh? Yeah.
really,
I really
really
want to
good.
see it.
But this is in development, and the quote from one of the producers is, "We have a room, we have a first season of concepts, outline, scripts, various stages of all these things. Of that 10 eps a season, we are well on our way, and we are going to start production the next couple of months. From a production standpoint, Greg Yalanez is overseeing that continuity, so thank God he's on it."
Yes, Greg!
What's your source for that story there? Since you're reading it.
The quote, I'm reading this off of Arrow in the Head.
Cool.
I don't know where that quote is from.
That quote came out of outer space.
My big argument is, as much as I want to see the Twilight Zone rebooted, does it even compete anywhere with Black Mirror? Like, are you
Good
like,
point.
is this
That's
a
a good
redundancy, and is it even going to come close to being as poignant and as thoughtful and as terrifying as Black Mirror?
It has
is
its place because
now?
Black Mirror is like movie length.
Well, also, Black Mirror specifically is about technology.
Yeah.
And I think Twilight Zone has the flexibility to tell stories in other eras that Black Mirror doesn't. Because Black Mirror can only tell stories in the future.
Do we find that stuff scary, though, anymore?
I don't know. We're going to find out, I guess.
Yeah.
Huh? Do you remember? This is the 4th reboot. Do you remember the one with Forrest Whitaker?
Kind of. I also remember, all those other anthology series from the 90s, like Tales from
the Dark Side.
Side. And was it
Monsters?
I'm trying to think of the other one that was
The Outer
really
Limits.
The Outer Limits. That
Outer
was
Limits.
really concurrent with the Twilight Zone.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like Amazing Stories was supposed to be having a comeback too, but then that kind of disappeared.
Yeah, I heard J.J. Abrams was doing that one.
Yeah.
That they were gonna.
It's a great fit.
It is. I was never into Amazing Stories.
No. Even the
like-
Halloween episode they did with Christopher Lloyd. You ever see that one?
I did see that one.
What about the one with Haley Mills with the monster that comes out of her kid's book? That was really cute and kind of
There were
sweet.
some bad ones near the end, especially.
Yeah, I think I would be more anxious to see just a different kind of anthology series that has yet to be discovered yet.
Yeah.
I think you look at all the landscape that's out there. It's horror. I'd like to see like an adventure anthology series.
Yeah.
I think that would be
that'd be
really
fun.
interesting.
Yeah.
I think literary character anthology might be interesting. Yeah, either that or you can take. Everything is like up for IP grabs right now.
Yeah.
So even like the mythology, like if you went like deep video game anthology series, like think about Nintendo's lore, and then think about what
Bubble
you
Bobble,
could do.
the series.
Yeah.
I played Bubble Bobble the other day.
Did you?
I really did. I
Yeah.
played Bubble Bobble. I was like, I remember that game. I'm going to play it.
So hard.
And
And
I
then
did.
you did it.
I did it.
That's some follow through.
Yeah.
Love you.
I love you too. All right. I'm going to move on to this bit of
That's
news.
such like a backhanded compliment. Like, good for you. You played the video game.
Well, honestly, the funny part is I thought about Mario Brothers the other day,
But
and
you
I
didn't
couldn't
play
bring
it.
myself to go into the bedroom and play it. That's the level of follow through I had that day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Piss poor follow through is what that is.
You can come over and play it at my house if you want.
So it's Kelley 1, Freddy 0.
Yeah.
We could play both. Blumhouse is trying to, or Bloomhouse, however you want to say it,
Blum.
is trying to buy the rights to everything
Yeah, as they
including
should.
Friday the 13th.
Including Bubble Bobble.
Yes!
They bought the rights to my story.
Bubble Bobble. Wango Tango, the song by Ted Nugent. They want to buy the rights to that.
Yeah.
I'm
What
just
are they
kidding about
buying?
that. Friday the 13th.
Ted Nugent would accept a crate of Omaha steaks for the rights to that song, probably.
He probably would.
Well, I think that's fine. I think that's a good place for that to live.
I think I love all the stuff that Blumhouse does.
Yeah.
I love their model of just like, let's create as much as we can, and some of the stuff is going to work. Some of it's going to be dog shit.
Right.
Yeah.
But I just watched the Belko Experiment.
I love that. Did you like
Friday
it?
night? I liked it a lot. Like,
Yeah.
it's an interesting concept. I think I like the movies that do something a little different. I think that's why everyone always shits on the Purge movies.
I love
We love the Purge.
But but I'm just always think of it as it's like cotton candy. It's just like, is this going to fill me up? Absolutely not. But am I going to have the best time eating this?
Yeah.
Like, fuck yes. Like, give me more. Like,
Absolutely. Yeah, man. I think the cool thing also about like Blumhouse is they can take a relatively small amount of money and they get the people that are really, I think, passionate about making horror films, and they make it happen.
Yeah,
and that's why he's been such a big success. Is he has managed to keep budgets under control.
That is really it. Like
business.
that's know, and when we were building the bars, we kind of said the same thing, that it was if we could make these really cool concept bars, but make them for as little amount of money as possible, then we can make. And what most people spend on one bar, we'll spend on 10 bars, but we'll make sure that the experience and that the drinks and that the overallness of it is great. So that's why the bars are where they are, because they're not downtown, except for one. They're in these little neighborhoods. It's because we could get the real estate cheap and keep the budgets down. So I always look at all the stuff that Blumhouse does.
So you're saying your bars are death traps?
Possibly.
He cut corners everywhere.
That's the name of the next bar, Death Trap.
That was actually that was actually the DVD that you had to pull at Video Archive when we first opened, because we had such a problem with the trap door that opens to the speakeasy that the building department didn't want to pass us.
Really?
So like they gave us hell. Finally, we got to a point where we could kind of all agree. So the first switch for the door was the movie Death Trap.
That's awesome.
And just to say, I think what you said about them, trying to make as much as possible, I think that is what makes them a strong, because they can make like kind of goofy, shitty teenager horror movies, have a good opening weekend, and then be able to fund, stronger movies like fucking Ethan Hawke. That wasn't a Blumhouse movie. Never mind.
Well, they also did Happy Death Day and just stuff that is,
so fun.
Yeah, just stuff that's kind of off the wall that you really shouldn't see. I think that's a problem with Hollywood now. Is Hollywood, and what Blumhouse does really well is Hollywood says we gotta make a $250 million picture with Vin Diesel, and Blumhouse is like, give me $5 million and someone you never heard of from the CW.
Exactly.
And that's perfect for Friday the 13th. Like,
It is.
have at it, man.
Well, the person in there is not the star. The person is a guy in a mask.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
like
Exactly.
Make me 15 more Jason Goes to Hell.
So he is. So
Sinister was Blumhouse.
Sinister. That's what.
Yeah.
Fucking Ethan Hawke.
Thank you for knowing what I was trying to say.
AKA fucking Ethan Hawke.
Well, you know what? Fucking Ethan Hawke in that movie. He wouldn't turn a light on to save his life.
He wouldn't. But
Stupid.
Ethan Hawke has the golden finger when it comes to picking screenplays. That's just a weird turn of phrase there. Is what I'm just saying. He lays his cock on the best written work.
And he always makes you smell his golden finger.
Yeah, he's like, can you take a whiff of that? That's Boyhood.
So they're
Freddy
interested
Morris.
in possibly remaking or having the rights to The Crow, to The Serpent and the Rainbow. And this, I like the phrasing.
I thought The Crow was already in the works. I thought that was coming
There's
down.
always a Crow movie in the works that's never quite getting
Wasn't
off
it
the ground.
Momoa?
Yeah.
But
was
he's
he was
out.
rumored.
I think he's out on that.
That's
It's
one.
cursed.
That one I don't even.
Momoa's too big and sexy to be the Crow. You need like kind of a skinny Weasley gothy guy.
Who's a guy?
Steve Buscemi.
No,
DJ Qualls.
The guy that plays in Force Awakens.
Adam Driver.
Adam Driver is the Crow.
That would be a good.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Also, I like how this is phrased. They wanted the rights to John Carpenter's Stephen King's Christine.
Okay.
I feel like you could just probably get the rights to Christine the novel and just
Do your thing.
There's something specific about his film version that they need to get the rights to.
It says
That's
John
really weird.
Carpenter's Stephen King adaptation Christine.
So one more thing, real quick about the Crow remake. I had about Adam Driver actually. Be a good casting for the Sandman. Neil Gaiman's the Sandman.
Oh yeah,
That would
Adam
be good
Driver.
too.
Yeah,
which they've also been trying to make for forever. It's been like it's gonna be an HBO show, and then
that would be
gonna be a
perfect.
movie, and that just seems like and also one that would be a great anthology series. You want to talk about what you do with Sandman? There's like
that would be a great series. That's almost how they have to do it.
Yeah.
Like I wish like just make all the books into series and then make just new movies.
You know what else Adam Driver would be great in?
What?
If they remade fried green tomatoes again.
Yeah.
In what role?
That's what we need. A
would he be
reboot
the
of Fried
Kathy
Green
Bates
Tomatoes.
Kathy Bates or Jessica Tandy?
She'd have a cameo,
He'd be
but
the
she's not going
Kathy-
to play the same character.
Yeah. Who would he be? Would he be the Jessica Tandy character? Probably?
Adam Driver.
Yeah, Adam Driver.
Would he be the tomato?
He'd be the fried green tomatoes. He's like, I'm playing a plate of fried green tomatoes this time, guys.
Such range.
So anyway, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's some barrel chested tomatoes.
Yeah. Please put a shirt on tomatoes.
I don't know why people are complaining about that scene. I liked it.
Because
I
people
love that
complain.
movie. I love Last Jedi, but I'm almost afraid to
I'm
tell
glad
people
you
that.
said that. I
love it.
I love it too.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite.
We all probably love it for the same reasons. We watch a shit ton of movies, so you can kind of you see where the ball is going. Like you're like, well, we got to wrap this up in 30 minutes, so it's time for the heroes to win and everything. It was one of the movies where I was like, oh no, the fuck's about to happen? I love this.
Yeah, exactly. Same. Yeah. Everything that every expectation you had, they're like, oh, do you think that's gonna fuck you?
Yeah.
I really loved it.
When Luke squirts that milk right into his mouth, I'm like, it's such a great callback to him sitting at the breakfast table with
Uncle Owen.
Yeah. Where he's
Peter-
just like, but now he's like, I'm not even gonna use a cup anymore. This is where I'm at in my life.
And again, I think with some of these bigger studios investing, Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts, Star Wars, things like that, we're going to get 1 billion of these movies. That's why I was just like, if you don't like Justice League, don't worry, because in 5 years they're going to make another one.
That's right.
You're going to have every iteration of these characters, mostly because they're lazy and they just can't figure out anything new to do. That's what we've talked about. Hey, they're rebooting Friday the 13th. They're doing Twilight Zone.
Designing women.
Yes.
And John Carpenter, Stephen King's Christine.
John Carpenter's designing women.
that I would watch.
Julia Sugarbaker just comes out of the shadows.
I think there's your money right there. Is if you can get the designing women to do something almost like Scream Queens. Just print all the money. Which is one of my favorite TV shows. I'm so sad
good.
it's not coming back.
So were they going to bring Designing Women back?
No,
They were
Scream
not.
Queens.
Scream
No, they are talking about bringing Designing Women back.
Because that's also what we're doing right now is bringing back every single TV show that ever existed.
Yeah.
I heard Frasier.
I know. I heard it's going to be different without Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Freddie's making me watch Seinfeld from the beginning.
That seems like a slog. Like, I mean, I
The,
think
the first season is hard. I would rather have jumped ahead and started on
No.
halfway
I have
through
to see it
too,
from the
but
beginning.
she's a completist.
So, why was America fascinated with fucking Kramer? What an awful...
Because he was wacky. Because it was the 90s and everybody, like, he was in a long line of wacky sidekicks. So you've got, like, Taxi, what's his name? Like,
Christopher Lloyd,
Yeah, so it's basically just the evolution of that. Like, that if you're going to do a sitcom, you got to have, like, the wacky
And he's always barging in. I think people
Get
relate
out
to
of my
having one of those
apartment.
neighbors.
Stop pushing me to do things that you want me to do. You have no boundaries, Kramer.
Well,
Seems like Freddie.
I really think any of those things.
I think we all have friends like that. I think now I can relate.
Are you telling me?
So what? Then which one are you? If you're
Amy's George Costanza,
I'm George, and I don't like it, and I hate George.
Yeah,
and I don't want to be like George.
Here's the
and
funny
I want to
thing.
resist my George ways.
Here's the Georgie thing she just did.
Georgie, we all float down.
We went to see Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh, fuck these people, though.
Well, hold up, but
not the Crazy Rich Asians. That was a great movie.
These goddamn.
Well, no, it was really great being on the show today, guys.
I didn't mean that.
Well, here's the thing. At least Amy saw it, Kelley and Jacob.
Yeah, I'm not racist.
I have zero interest in that movie.
Oh, it's actually really funny.
It looks like this generation's My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Bingo.
That's what it was.
That is what it is.
It's just bubblegum. It's a little fantasy, and it's funny, and it's
romantic
great.
and funny.
It's really good. Okay.
The point is,
fuck this
if
family.
we're talking who is who in Seinfeld, we just watched the episode where George is waiting for the payphone in the Chinese restaurant, and just the way he gets worked up waiting for it. Literally, we're at the concession stand at the movie theater, and Amy's like, how many people are with these people?
There was this huge family.
And then she's like, who spends this kind of money at a concession stand at a movie theater?
And I was loud about it, too, and I know I was being an asshole, but it was like a mom and another mom and 5 kids and a grandma
She's
and
like,
a
they're
fucking kid.
letting the kids pick out what they want.
Yeah.
They're not just giving the kids what, they're not deciding what the kids get for the kids. The kids are looking at the menu.
Okay,
Why would you bring your own shit?
Here was a problem. They didn't know. They didn't know what they wanted when they got to the line.
Like, seriously? We were in line for the ticket while these people were at the counter already. I wait in line. I get my fucking movie ticket. I go to the bathroom, and then I go in line for the concessions. These motherfuckers are still ordering.
Yeah, and we're watching Seinfeld. She's like, this George.
You have a plethora of options. I mean, what do you want? Popcorn, candy, Reese's Pieces.
$200.
If you're really adventurous, the hot dog.
Movie theater hot dog. I'd rather lick the ground.
Well, me and Mike are behind them. Then we just hop over to the next line.
Yeah, and that's not fair either.
Hey, they got through there. They were like, I'm go to the next
me and Katie went to see the Christopher Robin movie, and we really wanted hot dogs, so we just smuggled in our own hot dogs.
That's how you do
Where'd
it.
you hide them?
In her purse. She wrapped them up and she's got one of those big
all the time.
We do too.
You
we
smuggle
do that with
hot
tacos.
dogs in?
Food.
We smuggle we smuggle tacos in from La Canasta.
Were your hot dogs
Messy.
already hot? Or
we actually went to
No, they cooked them in the theater.
Steak and Shake to get them.
Ah, smart.
So,
But
I
here's
like
the thing.
that.
a high quality hot dog.
Here's the thing. Good thing about escape theaters. There's a lot of fast food around.
And they let you bring stuff in.
You don't
They don't
know.
care.
Yeah, they don't.
I
They
got
don't let you,
Yeah,
but
I
they
got-
definitely
let-
don't stop.
Well, the funny part
Right.
is one time the ticket terror was like, you can bring whatever you want.
Yeah, I got a big purse.
They didn't give a shit.
I snuck in a po' boy from Popeyes one time.
But
But
you
it's
do-
like,
there is
who
a-
goes to the movie theater and buys $200 worth of concessions when people are fucking standing in behind you? You smuggle that shit in. Who the fuck are you? The goddamn Rockefellers. Fuck you.
we were in the rich part of town, though, Amy.
I guess. We were at Kenwood. Yeah.
Rich kids.
All right. Anyway, what were we even talking about?
So I have two last.
Okay, hurry up.
Oh, yeah, the news.
I have two last bits of news that are both Stephen King. It's been a very Stephen.
Well, it's
as
fine.
you
Yeah, I'm
mentioned,
He's
so
allowed.
glad I was here for the
big
Stephen King
big
news.
Stephen
Yeah.
King news day.
He's-
So, Pet Cemetery's wrapped filming.
Oh, yeah.
We have our first picture of John Lithgow as Judd Crandall.
Did I know about this?
He's hugging a fellow.
That's fantastic.
Look
Oh,
at
that's nice.
Oh, that's great.
I love John Lithgow.
He's the
else
best.
Who else is in this?
nobody you know. And
I can't be
They really made
Say
Pet
it.
Cemetery in that photo look like a buddy motorcycle.
right, it's like sometimes dead is better.
Don't steal my sunshine.
Do you think they have to have that line in there, right?
I
Like,
hope they do.
can't,
That guy, Andy?
It's just like that's
Jason
the
Clarke.
thing with all of the Stephen King movies. Is they all have that one.
Yeah, you want it to come.
punch movie.
You want it to be
we
there.
all float down here.
I find it kind of interesting they cast Jason Clarke as the dad because he has a similar look to what's his nuts from Mary Lambert's version. The jaw,
that guy.
the jaw, and all that.
I know who you mean.
what I'm
Yeah, he
talking
does
about,
kind of
yeah.
have a similar
I also
look.
really just wanted them to cast Dennis from It's Always Sunny in
Oh,
Philadelphia
that
because
would've been
I'm
great.
so ingrained with that every movie that I see him in, I'm like, oh, what's Dennis doing here? And then
Right?
That movie
AP
automatically
bio.
becomes a comedy.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
You know,
It's the implication.
they got to go full circle, and It's Always Sunny and make him a serial killer.
I
Yeah,
know
at some
they've
point.
been towing that line.
Yeah.
so
Really?
hard.
Yeah. But anyway, that's happening. So it's all wrapped up. that's basically what this news article is about. I gotta say, one thing I'm really looking for in this one that they didn't give me, the Mary Lambert version is good. I mean, it's one of the better adaptations, but they completely stripped out the super spookiness of the trip through the swamp to the pet cemetery, because for me, that part of the book, both of those times in the book are humongously scary, with Judd explaining like not answering anything that talks to you as you walk through the woods, and just like it was like this really great atmospheric, terrifying. And then the second time, I won't spoil the novel for anybody, but Lewis Creed sees things, and it's just it's but it wasn't anywhere, like they didn't explore that at all in the movie. Yeah, and I don't think they gave too much time either to the Timmy Baterman story that Judd tells. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Lewis in the book, which is like a really rich part of it that I really hope they get back to. Who knows? But
how great would that have been as an episode of the Beverly Hillbillies, though, where they bury Jethro up there in the pet cemetery, and he comes back.
Jethro.
And
does he come back like dumber than he was? Like
extra dumb?
Yeah,
extra dumb.
He uses an even bigger bowl to eat his cereal out of.
No, he just can't even form words anymore. He just
keeps
drools
falling down. The last one is they are adapting from a Buick 8.
Oh, I liked that book.
I did too.
That's going to be a tough one.
It is going to be a tough one because it is so many, just like it's like a novel of vignettes,
and it's kind of like a Doctor Strange almost kind of thing, where all the otherworldly stuff that happens.
Well, is it Doctor Strange meets Creepshow? Then is how you frame it.
That would be a way to sell it. Yeah. My question would be like, how do you? Yeah, it's one of those things that's almost Lovecraft, where what happens when people go into the, well, not to spoil, but I think everybody knows you go into the trunk, right? And then there's some other dimension in there.
Well, and there's things that are coming out of another. Yeah, you open the trunk and something's come from another place, and it's so like the whole book is just like what happens between these like strange moments of discovery where this car is parked. So yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do, but some people are working on it.
Oh, that's good. I hope that we have our best people on it.
Is it top men?
We have top men working on it. Let's see who's in this.
Thank you for your service, top man.
Let's see.
You were supposed to give this to top men. You gave it to bottoms.
We got Warwick Davis.
Got this all crisscrossed. The bottom ones are supposed to be working on the Tommy knockers, and the top ones.
So Ashok Armitage Hyde Park Entertainment.
I don't think any of that's right.
That's
Ashok Armitages.
Speaking of strokes, I think Kelley just had
one. The person's name is Ashok Armitage.
Okay.
And they have a production company called Hyde Park Entertainment.
This is direct to video. Or direct to streaming. Like this can't.
Racist?
No, like I've just never heard of Hyde Park production. Like it seems made up. Like it seems like they're doing like some sort of covert war game. Like that is.
Oh shit.
Like
this is some CIA shit.
It's Argo all over again. Yeah. It's not real.
You're getting ISIS out of this shit.
They've hired William Brent Bell
again
to write the script.
Billy Brandt.
Bell directed The Boy, that doll movie.
I kind of, you know what? I didn't hate that. I thought I was going to.
So we were talking about movies that are spoiled, like, or that you can hide yourself from getting spoiled. Somehow that movie got spoiled for me. Like
really?
I was walking past a television screen one day and just okay, well, I guess that's how that ends.
It's only worth watching if you don't know how it ends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
I mean,
I saw. Did you see that with me? Okay, yeah, we mom and dad, I think.
The Walls, right?
Yeah.
Wink.
Just as a fun aside, the place where I get all my news from, every time they do like one of these like articles about a Stephen King adaptation, the person writing the article, and it doesn't matter what the book or what the thing is, they always say, that's one of his that I haven't read. But I'm like, you've never read any of them, have you?
Now, I've read his Insomnia, which was, whoa.
I had to, I don't even remember.
That's a slog. I do not like Insomnia either.
No,
it was not good.
I think I started it a bunch of times.
It's weird. They turn young at some point.
Lacey's story or Lissy's story, I could not
started that one a bunch of times.
Have you guys read that at all?
Lissy's story?
Is it Lisey?
I don't know.
That's what I call Elise.
Did they I know that they're making Dr. Sleep. I know that's
Dr.
coming.
Sleep.
Yeah.
And I heard that Ewan McGregor was cast as Danny.
I really like Dr. Sleep, so I'm looking forward to that adaptation.
I wanted The Shining again.
What
and
now,
I didn't.
Kelly? You really like what?
I like
Well, I heard they started
Slap.
possibly
Slap.
like this. Obviously people just run into bars and just yell things at me. So I want to say this is one of those bar conversations. They're like, "Oh yeah, I think they're filming at the same location. Like they're going back to the Overlook Hotel."
Oh, that's
yeah.
awesome. I just wish
Estes Park. So,
you said you have read the book though of Dr.
I have,
Sleep?
yeah.
Did you for me it felt almost like an adventure novel instead of a horror novel?
It does, but I think that there are some of those that Stephen King writes that kind of, if you look like a book or a short story like Stand By Me or something like that, that some of them kind of veer off. I think he kind of gets bored. And
I could see that.
It does fall, I really like Dr. Sleep, but it's not as cohesive. It'll never be as great as one of the earlier ones, but I thought as for a sort of post, because I feel like there was what he wrote before, then the accident, and then what he wrote afterwards. And I feel like for a post-accident book, it was one of the ones that have kind of gotten him back into where he kind of found his voice again to me. I really like Dr. Sleep. The only thing I had a problem with, I wish that the monsters were less sympathetic. That was my only real concern, was they were just a little too sympathetic for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I find that interesting though.
It is interesting.
It's when you can make a monster sympathetic, I think then it kind of drives. I think that's why the last Avengers work so well.
Yeah.
It's you even though Thanos is crazy, you get why he's doing it. And I think it's a very hard line to walk to where you're okay, I get why you're doing this. Please stop doing it.
Yeah, I agree.
Feel bad.
I agree.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny that I always feel if you're framing something as literature, yes, that's more interesting and it makes it more worthwhile in the long run to stew on. But as an experience of me wanting to be scared by something, and that's just the cheap, I just want to get my rocks off kind of thing.
Did you have the same thing when you read it, about the monsters, the travelers, or whatever?
Yeah, well, part of it was I like the travelers. They reminded me of the gypsies from Thinner.
Yeah,
a lot, and I thought it was cool, and just the way they framed it, good versus evil, almost it felt kind of big and comic booky.
Yeah,
but I love The Shining. I get so scared by the book The Shining.
Yeah, it's a real scary book,
and I wanted that. I thought when they were revisiting that territory, there would be more of that.
I see what you're saying.
There.
I see why you would think that. I was glad they didn't, because I didn't think. Again, he's not that writer anymore,
right?
So I was actually concerned that he was going to try and do that, and it's not really a sequel to The Shining at all.
Right.
It's just a different story in that character's life. So I was glad he didn't do that, but I can see why you'd want that.
Yeah. I maybe on a revisit, knowing what I'm getting into, I'd enjoy it, and I think it'd make a great movie.
Yeah.
Did you?
But
guys
it's going to piss a lot of people off that it's not.
Hear that Joe Hill might have solved an unsolved murder.
Yeah, we were just
the
talking
Jaws
about
murder?
that.
Yeah, the Lady of the Dunes.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
That's the first place I actually ever heard about that was on his Twitter.
Yeah.
Years ago.
I had randomly heard the Lady of the Dunes, but I'd never delved into the story before, so it's...
We were talking about that during the review of Meg with Fozzie, right?
Didn't somebody say that she was the actual Marianne Moffat? Where that story came from for that the Indianapolis scene? When they're comparing scars and Hooper says Marianne Moffat, she broke my heart.
She broke my heart.
I think that there was some rumor that girl was the inspiration for that speech. That part of the speech.
You mean the extra in the scene?
No, the girl who they found.
They found her after the movie was made, though, didn't they?
Right. What I'm saying is that I think the rumor was that she was somebody that hung around the town, and when Richard Dreyfuss, I had to do that first before I could get to the name. Had met her, she had hung around the production. She might have even worked on it.
Yeah,
and then that worked its way into the scene, and then later they found her body.
Whoa!
Just another dimension to Jaws, y'all.
I could be wrong about that, but there's some kind of.
There was a Munchkin hanging from a tree in the background.
Yeah. And there's a ghost in the window in 3 Men and a Baby.
No, in Jaws. There's a ghost in the window. Just look, but it's actually a cardboard cutout.
If you
It's a cardboard cutout of a man hanging.
So there,
a munchkin.
maybe you guys can answer this because this always bothers me every time I see it. Is there's the scene in Jaws where it's a kind of a distant shot of the boat and it's at night. It's right before this scene.
Yeah.
And in the background, you see like a
shooting star,
red shooting star, which I always just interpreted as Superman. Like, it's like Superman, please save these people from the shark, which I think would make a great movie. Right. But yeah, so I don't know what the red shooting star is, and like I've never gotten a satisfactory.
Or was that a real shooting star?
I think
it looks animated.
Yeah, and it's just always very puzzling because it's just there for no apparent reason. Yeah. I just thought somebody could be like, "Oh yeah,"
I feel like it was just some editor that was like, you know what would really make this scene pop? You got that beautiful big night sky. Let's just go ahead and can we animate just a little star going across?
And then learn how to do that.
It's the signature of that particular editor. It's in every film they worked on.
I love the voice you chose, Kelley.
Yeah, I know. That was, it really sucked me into that character. I want to know more about his backstory and where he's from.
South Carolina.
Really worked his way up. It was really his only big movie.
East Peck or North Peck?
He's from East Peck.
All right, great, cool. We did a show, you guys.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. So this Saturday, Strangers Pray at Night on location, MyersHouseNC.com. So cool. Then visit Gorilla Cinema Presents to see all the stuff for Yuletide Nightmare coming to Video Archive in October. Awesome. Follow me at Jake Should Instagram. I'm basically Jake Should everything. Like, so if you're looking for me on
Jake should give me $100 just for being me.
There you go. And again, I look forward to like running your Instagram when I go to Halloween Horror Nights.
You
definitely should do that.
Yeah. I'll send you the login right now so don't forget.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/NOTLP. I forgot to bring up the lists of patrons.
Oh, Amy.
Oh no, Amy.
So mad at you.
Go see Crazy Rich Asians. That was good. I say go see that.
Sure, do that.
Tell Mandy sent you.
What? What did you say?
Tell Mandy sent you to the movie theater.
You're 25% off your ticket.
Don't you dare spend $300 in concessions at one time with your dumb family. Why do you have so many kids?
Amy's running on this platform. She's going to do away with over a certain amount at the concession stand.
Concessions are too damn high.
All right, I can't get the internet to work, so we'll name our patrons next show.
I can get them on my phone, probably.
The Horror Hound Weekend is next weekend, so we will not be doing a show. So sorry about your life, but we'll make sure you have some bonus content to tide you over and such. Anything else before we go?
I'll get our... I'm working on it.
Castle Rock's good. I hope you guys are enjoying that.
Castle Rock's good.
Not gonna work here anymore.
Not gonna work here anymore.
You said your internet's not working over there?
Oh, I just got The Outsiders, but Stephen King, his latest novel.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm in the middle of another book, and my hold from the library came in, and it's like I can't start it
The
yet.
Outsider is really good. I haven't finished it yet.
You'll hate me because I've got like 6 books on my dresser, and just I fly through all of them at different times.
You mean you put one down in the middle and start another?
Yep.
I do the same thing.
Yeah. It's like watching a television show. What's the difference? Can you not follow more than one story at a time?
I always have an audiobook and a regular book going.
Yeah.
I used to do that. I just don't read as many books as I used to. I mean, I can do that.
Yeah, as long as it's not like Game of Thrones where I'm like, all right, who the fuck is this?
Right. Where it requires intense focus.
I've watched that show for 7 years. Still don't know who some of the characters' names are. They
just keep coming up. You're like, I know I should know that person.
All right.
You ready, baby?
Let's see. I needed a filter.
You start thinking they're slipping in Lord of the Rings names just to like fuck with you.
Oh yeah.
You're like, did you say Faramir? What?
I feel like I'm doing this
about the Game of Thrones books, though. You have your
glossary.
Your glossary in the back, which is nice. So I
there's something on the internet where it's like I asked my dad to like name all the Game of Thrones characters that he could name, and I put up their pictures. So he like came up with like random names for them, like Queen Good Boobs.
Queen Good Boobs.
Oh, that had to be a Natalie Dormer.
Yeah, that's Marjorie.
I do love Marjorie. Okay.
Natalie
Dormer. She's fine. I'm sorry. Here we go. Patreon Beelzebubs, producers of this show, Jeremy and Cassie.
Yeah, congratulations
on your new house.
Bought a new house. Yep.
We're gonna read the address
and
online.
our Patreon. Damn, they got money to spend.
They're balling. Commanda, much love to you.
Hey, girl.
Dale Roberson.
What up?
Congratulations, Dale.
Yeah, he's a newlywed. Mandy, Adam, Brooke,
Mandy and Adam and Brooke.
Ernie. Hopefully, we'll see you at Horror Hound.
Yeah.
I'm hoping you're coming.
I won't be there, but you know.
Albert, Tree and Alex.
Hey, bros.
Brandon Boone, who we will be showing Psycho for the first time next weekend or something. Weekend after next. He's never seen Psycho.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Lucky him.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Bill Farmer.
Hi, Bill.
Blake.
Balake.
Mark Watts.
Mark.
And Elise
He's
Wallace.
going to be at Horror Hound,
she'll be here soon.
Yeah.
Is Mark going to be at Horror Hound?
He said so, right?
Yeah. We haven't seen him since the Flying Pig, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Where we just met because he recognized our voices in a crowd of like
No,
thousands
I
of
had the
people.
NOTLP bag on.
Or no, you had the bag on. Yeah.
That's creepy, Fred.
He was just like, what's that smell? NOTLP's here.
Smells like Cincinnati chili.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for listening. Thanks, Jake, for having me.
Thanks for having me on
It's a good
anytime. Love this.
And we'll be in your ears again soon. Bye.
Bye.
Frankenstein was wondering if he should go to bed.